Well, I think that what our founders understood was that, you know, it's hard to sort of state this. It's sort of counterintuitive, but the best form of government up until July 4th, 1776, or maybe until we established the Constitution, is the British constitutional monarchy. But it's an authoritarian government, and what you have are people who are 3,000 miles away, enjoying both the liberty and the freedom and the isolation that those 3,000 miles provide, and also the burden now that Britain has won the 7 Years' War, which we call the French and Indian War, that they need to pay for it, and that we need to pay for it. So we're the least taxed people on earth, and we're suddenly being asked to carry this without representation. And we're also being told we cannot cross the Appalachians into Native American territory and take their land, which is what small farmers and large real estate speculators. So these issues of freedom are born out of a very complicated dynamic and narrative, but they are absolute foes of monarchy. And it's interesting that each one of our 6 episodes is given its title by taking a phrase out of Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine arrived half dead, penniless, on our shores in January of 1776 at a time when most people would be looking for some kind of negotiated end to this, maybe not independence, something else. And he just came out and argued at how wrong authoritarian government was, how much it kills the spirit of people, how antithetical it was to the values of the Enlightenment and to biblical values that he also wove into his extraordinary writings. And his writings took off like an accelerant, the historian Stacy Schiff says in our film, in the colonies, and it really changed coming out in January, and it really increased the momentum like a snowball rolling down a hill that is going to move towards first starting a committee that will consider writing a Declaration of Independence and then actually writing it and releasing it to the world. And throughout it, and if you know your history, there's some great poetry at the beginning and at the end. It's mostly a list of 18 complaints against the monarch. That are familiar to anybody. And we like to think, Christopher Brown, another scholar in our film, says that we hear about these third world colonial, anti-colonial movements. We invented it. We're the first anti-colonialists here, and we were rebelling against the arbitrary power and authoritarian aspects of the British government over us.